you and the church, because I hear you're doing a lot of good things. I see it for myself. So tell us a little bit about what's going on.
All right, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here at your offices to do this. This is a very special thing for us, and I'm very proud. For all the people that are watching, I just want to salute you all and thank you for being part of the program. I told a couple of my people that your law office is one of the greatest in America, and I'm very proud that I'll be here to visit you. You know, the world is changing. After 9/11, America has really come a long way. Things have changed through community policing. Things have changed through immigration. Things have changed in many, many ways in the United States of America. And America as it is a community of foreigners that we've all gathered. That is why we call it United States of America, because it is not one creed or type of people that makes America, but it is everybody that is drawn here for any reason. We come here to seek for greener pastures and better economy. But after 9/11, things have changed in a lot of ways. Policing have changed, immigration things have changed, and so many things have changed. And therefore, there is the need for leadership to come up somehow. Even during this COVID season, that the community needs strong leadership from people to be there for the poor, to be there for the weak, to be there for the undocumented, to help people make the country better for us. So through this, we've been helping the community by arranging with, working with the police. In a very large way in Virginia here, we're trying to extend it to the whole of America, so that the policing force in America will respect all of us. We're not just people of white people or Latinos, but some of us are black from Africans and things. Once we're in the community, we're working that the police will respect everybody in the society to make the place peaceful. People shouldn't find it difficult to go report crime to the police. People should find it easy, whether you are documented or undocumented. People should find it easy to go to the police and get crimes reported. If there's the need for anybody who needs legal services or support, that is why we're now working with you, so that in the community we can have a larger legal support, that minorities and people who are mistreated, women that are being abused by husbands, or husbands that are being abused by wives because of maybe green card or documents, we can have a legal system to protect all of us, to make the world a peaceful place for us. That is basically what we're doing, and we're using also the church to feed poor people in our community, including Ghana, where we are helping everybody just to make life worth living, because the world is a very dangerous place now, a tougher place now, and a bad place now. And every help and support anybody can give you, it is necessary. So this is what we're doing in the community, and I'm happy you have a very strong law chamber that is ready to work with us to help the community, especially when it comes to their green card and their documents in Africa and even here. And also, in case anybody finds that they are troubled and they need legal advice, we can easily connect them to you to get them the help you need. So, but this is what we're doing in the community, and by the grace of God, I'm happy. Right now, we're working with the whole police in America, and we're working even with the Biden administration to make sure that everybody in our communities are at peace to enjoy their lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know you have a huge internet following, and you always, people love your videos. What is your goal in using that platform of the internet? Why do you use it so much, more than other people? Because is it more to reach more people? Or
if people love you, you gotta love them back.
That's right.
If you notice people love you, you gotta love them back. And there's a scripture that says that for anybody that much is given, much is expected. God has really blessed me deeply with wisdom. I love people. I'm a people person. I love people, and the greatest thing I can ever do in my life today is to love somebody and to make somebody feel special. And I am also blessed with a voice that I notice that people love to hear my voice. If my voice can comfort a crying mother, if my voice can comfort somebody that is in trouble, why do I have to sleep? Anytime I open my mouth and a word comes out, it soothes somebody's heart. It balms somebody's pain. It puts somebody to sleep. It lifts somebody's heart up. It tells somebody it's not over, get up and go. That is why I use it so much, and I'm just happy that it is not everybody in life who sells things that people buy. But when I open my mouth and I sell anything with any words, I see so many thousands of people using it. So it keeps motivating me because this is why I live. And I enjoy the fact that people feel blessed from listening to me. That is why you hear me using the internet and everything so effectively.
Yeah, you do, you do.
Thank you.
You're a master at it. And I'm sure people tell you that all the time.
They do.
One thing that you have been doing recently that I've noticed is bringing some of the Ghanaian gospel and some of the personalities to the church to meet with the people. Why do you do that, and what's going on? What's your motivation?
I'm currently working with Dinah Hamilton and her team to bring them down. There's a whole lot. You see, it is not easy for people to identify their talents. And in Africa, God has given us so many talents, but most of the talent we Africans have, they are dead. Because if you don't get the right support, you don't get the right backing, your vision will die. So if people have talent like Obapa Christie, very talented, and it is necessary that every platform that we have, we can elevate them and support them in every way so that their gift can travel, they can reach out to many people, they can be a blessing. As I'm talking, Asamoah and their team, they are working very hard that very soon they will also come down here and also be part to see, as a footballer, Abedi Pele and his children, what they can also come together with us to do. And that is what we're trying to do. So it's not just the musicians, but every gifted and talented Ghanaian out there who wants to join us to not just make America better, but even help Ghana. We're working diligently with them to make sure that all the talents that we have in our country, we can bring them to the table for people to see. One sad part is, you see, in America, if you have a talent, they harness your talent, they celebrate your talent. So James Brown and certain old people that died several years ago, their music are being played and they are still paying them royalties. But in Africa, after a year or two, once you fade out, nothing comes out. That's Ghana. So my point is that we can bring them together, make them strong, build a better future for them, and get them to be able to do other things for people. Thank you.
Now, I realized recently that you have a big event coming on March 10th involving police and awards and recognition by yourself. Will you please just talk briefly about that event? And
you see, United States of America is for the white people, Latino, black. That is the country. This is how the country is geographically landscaped. But you see, at some point, it got to a time where there were, around the time of Obama, there were issues where there was a lot of police shootings. Police stops a man and you hear that he has been shot, and usually it's minorities. And so we felt that, I sat down one day and I thought that it is, I don't think the police department's vision is meant for them to use their weapons against civilians. You understand? Because there were too many shootings. So I approached some of the police officers here in Virginia, the state police, the county's police, and the sheriff. And the vision that I shared with them, they loved it. They felt that, yes, indeed, it's not every police officer that is bad. It's a bad cop that wants to pull his gun and shoot at people. So what the community must do, the community must come together and respect the police, that the police are there to make the community safe. If the community will respect the police for the work they do, then in turn also, if the police will also respect us, that is the fact that I'm black doesn't mean that I'm a criminal. The fact that somebody is a Latino doesn't mean that automatically they're criminals. In every society, there are bad people and good people. So if we can respect the police for the work they do, we also want them to respect us back. If the police can respect us back in the community for us to live hand in hand and live safe, then why don't we every year, the police officers that are doing good, some sacrifice their life for people at the peril of their lives. They go to places where they are shot. They go to places where they are killed. So why don't we, at the end of every year, all the police officers that are saving lives, they are defending women, they are protecting children, why don't you bring them together and honor them, award them, celebrate them? Let them know that what they're doing in our communities, they are making us safe, they are making businesses prosper, they are making the businesses fine. They accepted it. This is 5 years ago. So what happened was that they agreed that every year they were going to select the best police officer, the police officer of the year, for all the categories that they do their work. And now it's one of the greatest things. Now they are working with us that in the future this will be done in the whole of America, where once a year the community will come together and celebrate police officers, not just police officers, but men and women in uniform. That's how we call it, because now we've added the fire fighters and rescue. So that these are the people that make America what it is. The firefighters, the rescue department, and the law enforcement. Without them, there will be so much chaos in our world. And if this is the work they're doing it well, they have to be celebrated. They have to be honored. Good people needs to be celebrated for their good. So for all the work that the police do, we are together every year. And I hope this year your chamber will be invited just to come and also meet them, be introduced to them. Your officers will be mentioned that you also represented here. And for you to see how excited the police force from Prince William, Fairfax, Arlington, State Police, all the counties, everywhere, including Stafford County, their police department, their sheriff department, they're all going to be there just to receive recognition from us for the good work they do, which I'm really proud of them, because the work the police do, it's not everybody that can do that. You have to be called to do that.
This is true.
And that's how we're celebrating them.
Okay. Wow. That's tremendous.
Yes, yes.
Creating a bridge. Oftentimes we Africans just stay in our corner and we don't get involved in a larger community.
I believe that there's a scripture in the Bible. God told Joshua that wherever your feet will tread, I'll give to you. You see, the system, the democracy system in America, the end is the judges who rule on matters. But the enforcers of the laws, every day we see are the police officers who are on the streets and they are knocking on doors. So if we are able to relate with them, work with them together, and be able to influence them, or they should influence us, then God is good. We should celebrate His goodness, because from where we are coming from, nobody would expect us to have such a relationship or a link with the police at that level. As a matter of fact, next week, Wednesday at 12 p.m. I have to meet the Fairfax police chief over a dinner with a top brass of police officers, that if it's not for this opportunity, there's no way I could sit and dine with them in a lunch to have a tour of the whole place and see their museum. So it has been very good, and we're very proud.
Good for you. Good. I'm sure the community is very appreciative.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so that's we've shared your. We could go on all day and all night, but now we will, discuss some of what we do here, and my boss, my managing partner here, attorney here, Jumoke.
Jumoke
Oladapo.
You're welcome, sir.
Nice to meet you. I got you. Nice to
Nice
meet you.
to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bishop,
Thank
for
you.
coming over today. We appreciate your
Thank you.
presence
Yes,
here.
yes.
You're welcome.
So as you know, we are basically an immigration and estate planning law firm. We offer several areas of immigration that, as you just mentioned, would be very beneficial to your congregation. You just talked about some spouses that get involved with maybe spousal abuse and things like that, and they're stuck sometime. And yes, our law firm will be able to help those type of people.
Wow, that's good.
Oh yes, that's what we do. You know, Jumoke is an expert in this area. She's been doing it a long time.
Wow.
So there's not much we won't be able to provide by way of service to your congregation and some of your many followers if they need our services.
Okay.
The fact that you're bringing a lot of artists and important people from Ghana too. If you need assistance with the visas for them, we can also assist in doing that for the church.
Good.
That's what we're here for. Also, we do asylum if people need help with asylum, work-related visa. You know, a guy just asked me about a chef from Ghana for his restaurant. He needs paperwork. Those type of things we can definitely do. And so, in a nutshell, that's the immigration. This can be a one-stop place for what they need. If there's a legal area that we don't practice, this attorney knows. She's well connected. We have a huge network of other law firms and attorneys that we can send them to and they'll be taken care of. Especially the fact that they're coming from the church, we'll make sure they're taken care of in the immigration area. So Jumoke can talk to you a little bit about estate plans and what that is, and maybe, and I think I talked to you briefly about estate plan and why it is that we don't do enough, but it's important for our people. So, Jumoke?
Before Jumoke goes there, I just wanna, I think one of some of the struggles people have is people whose children are in Ghana, and maybe their spouses are there or in Africa, and they need help because normally the lawyers in Ghana don't really understand the laws here properly. So they try and error. So I think as we're here together, immigration in Africa itself also, we can really do a lot, and we'll be able to bring a lot of people to the table for your offices to help.
Definitely.
In many ways.
Yeah, we can actually work together with the attorneys in Ghana because they understand the Ghana law, you know, more than we do. But from the U.S. perspective, we do. When we collaborate with them, we can actually produce results for those people.
Wow. 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 That's good. That's good.
Do you want to briefly talk about estate planning?
Oh yeah, that's one of my areas of very good interest, and I started doing estate planning because of a situation that happened to a family friend. One day someone was going out to pick his son. On his way back from school, he had an accident. The son, is a minor child, was in the car. The father passed, the son did not. So the mom was out of the country, so at the end of the day, the child had to stay with CPS before the mom returned about a few days later. It was very traumatic for the child, and unfortunately, the dad did not have any estate plans in place. To make matters worse, they had to go through probate, and it was very complex and complicated for them. And that's triggered that, you know, this was a young, like, a man in his 40s. And I was like, this can happen to anybody. If you have assets, if you have children and no plans, your family's not going to have access to what you've worked hard for, and they're going to go through the trauma of probate and all that. So because, of course, I'm from Nigeria originally, I see that diaspora people don't plan, and a lot of people are in this situation that they put their families in mess. So I decided to take up that area of practice so that I'll be able to educate the community and let them know the importance of estate planning, and even give them alternatives, you know, so that they will keep their families and loved ones out of court and out of conflict. So we do a lot of seminars, webinars, speaking engagements, just to make people aware that this needs to be done. So when you talk about estate planning, a lot of people know about will, you know, And a lot of people know about living will. And the conflict, they don't really know what living will is about, but they know there's a living will. And there are a whole lot of things about will and living will. It's good to have a will, but of course it may not be the best vehicle for estate planning. So if you have young ones, you need to plan, for them. They can't get assets. If something happens to you, they'll have to go through the court. You have to make proper planning about that. If you have blended families, you can't just do a DIY estate planning. If you have a lot of assets, there will be estate taxes available. You need to do proper planning with a lawyer that knows what they are doing. Not a DIY, not a legal
Google
zone,
lawyer.
a rocket lawyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those gets people into a lot of trouble. I've seen families and siblings in conflict over a DIY will that the father.
What is DIY?
Do it
Do
yourself.
it yourself.
Oh.
Do it yourself. So they go on Google, they
Yeah.
try to copy somebody's will or just look sample will online and try to put one up for themselves. But they don't remember that they have assets. They don't remember that they have children. But this DIY is like you take one plate sample, and it goes to everybody, or the way you buy from Staples. Staples General will. Is that what you want to apply to your life? No. So, but it's important because if somebody does not have an estate plan, the state will have a plan for you.
Wow.
And the state's plan for you is not what you really want. And also, if you just have a will, it's as good as giving yourself a ticket to go to court for the court to sue you, over what you have. So it's always good to be able to make these decisions ahead of time so that the judge is not the one making a decision for you in court or for your family, or so that your family is not spending 1 or 2 years to get the assets you worked so hard for. If you don't have any plan in place and your case goes to probate, number one, probate is public. Number two, it takes 12 months, 18 months, 24 months to get it completed. So you can have a home and it's in your name, and if you pass, the spouse will not be able to have title to that home unless it goes through the probate process, and that takes 1-2 years.
Wow.
So we're trying to let people know, number one, to get their plans in place. Estate plan is not the same as real estate.
One sad thing, Africans were afraid, we're afraid of death.
Yeah, we're afraid to die. And a lot of people, when you talk about these things, they say, oh, no, I'm not ready to die. But it's not planning for death. It's I see it as planning for life. If you love your loved ones, you're doing this for your loved ones, not necessarily for yourself.
Exactly.
You don't want your assets to end up in government coffers. You don't want your people not to be able to have what you worked for them. So why don't you make plans for family wealth preservation and transfer? That's what I see it as. Preservation of family wealth and transfer. And also, people just think about death. They don't think about incapacity or disability. That's part of estate planning. When someone is incapacitated and they're stuck bedridden in the hospital, they can't go to the bank, they can't go to their work, they can't go to the post office. Who is going to act on their behalf in the event of incapacity? People don't put that in place. And then, if they become incapacitated, they have to go through the courts for a guardian to be chosen for them. And by the time they go to court, it may not be the person they want that the judge will choose as the guardian. And it also takes a process of time before they get in front of the judge. So why are people not planning for life and planning to preserve their family wealth and assets?
I just want to say something about what you're talking about. An African man with a wife or African woman with a husband, usually when they grow to a certain time, there's a lot of distrust. How is he going to make his wife his decision maker or the husband when there's a lot of distrust? I believe this is what some of the things that is affecting African people from making decisions as to making next of kin and things like that, because of the trust issues and the problems we have in our homes.
It doesn't have to be your spouse. That's why you're making a decision.
But if you don't make your spouse and your husband is there, you go and choose your brother as your
Exactly why? Because at the end of the day, if they don't trust their spouses to make those decisions, and they refuse to make their brother or friend the decision makers, if something happens to them, they don't have a choice. The wife is the first person that will come up and say, I want to be making those decisions, and then they can't do anything because they don't have sound mind anymore. Sometimes. You understand? So if you don't make a decision, the judge is going to make a decision for you.
Wow.
And it's also true. All this in America, people are not planning. They'll end up losing so much.
That's right.
Number one, insurance is part of it. If they don't have life insurance, they have every form of insurance because they're forced to have them. You have car insurance, you have renter's insurance, you have home insurance, then you don't have life insurance. Why not? You're not insuring your life, you're insuring your car. It doesn't make sense.
You're gonna die in the car.
You're gonna die in the car. So people need to have a better mindset to getting these things done, because we're in a different system entirely. We're not in Africa. Even in Africa, it's bad. If you die without your will, your family will fight. Here too, your family, your children will fight. Your family will fight.
That's right.
I've seen a lot of situations where parents are fighting with their children over the deceased assets, and or siblings are taking themselves to court. There is a lot of conflict that can be avoided with proper planning.
Okay.
I told you.
I am happy. I think one of these days I should bring you to meet the church.
That's right.
And especially where women will be very happy to hear from you and ask you questions, deep questions. Especially private questions, because their husbands are there, they wouldn't like that.
It's good, but both people are decision makers at the end of the day.
It's sad people marry today and there's a lot of mistrust. You understand? Because the institution of marriage and all these things is supposed to bring you to the place where our minds must be together, our plans must be together. But unfortunately, from my perspective as a pastor and so many people are dealing with, now most of the women have their secret thing and the men are also trying to do their secret thing. So society is really bungled up.
And that's true. And at the end of the day, who is going to... They're the ones that will lose, So I'll give you an example. You have 4 bank accounts. Your husband knows about 2. He doesn't know about 2. Something happens to you, you die. There are a lot of money in the other 2 savings. It's only the ones that know that they're going to try to secure and and use. The ones that don't know will end up in the Department of Unclaimed Properties with the state.
That's right.
Wow.
It will be lost.
It will be lost.
Better loss than my husband takes it.
What about the children?
How about the children? Your parents.
It is very sad, but
siblings.
But at least do something for yourself. Even if I've seen families that have not cooperated when it comes to these matters. I've worked with a lot of families that have cooperated. But I've seen families where they've not cooperated. And what I tell them is this: it's better one of you have it than none. Because if something happens to you, I know you are secure.
That's right.
And it's for the benefit of other people. and you're able to say, I don't want my wife to be my decision maker. You know, I don't want my husband to be the decision maker, or whatever it is that you choose.
And they won't know about it.
Or I want to disinherit my first son. Whatever you want, you can say with proper planning, you know. But if both of you don't have it, then at the end of the day, it's all going to the probate court. And
it's very good. I didn't know all this, and I think, like I said, we have to try and organize a date and time for you to come and speak to most of this topic, because people don't really know, like you said.
People don't know. Yeah, I'm really, you know, willing and available to have speaking engagements and, you know, topics, webinars with people, because one of my goals is to educate the community.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we have a very big platform for that. So we'll be very glad to bring you on board to come and speak to the woman. And so now it's immigration and then the probate issues, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the other part is if most of the parents now, their sons and daughters have little criminal issues and stuff, they will have to come and knock on your door about criminal offenses. Yeah.
So if it relates to immigration, yeah, so you have a lot of people that are non-citizens. If they have immigration problems, then there's all these nuances that has to be dealt with. For example, you don't plead guilty when it comes to immigration.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you know, sometimes
you don't
some of
take
them.
a guilty plea. You don't take a probation before judgment. Things like that. So you need to speak with an immigration attorney that knows about criminal consequences. You know, before you listen completely to what your criminal law attorney is telling you. So a lot of states are collaborating, like the criminal law lawyers are collaborating with immigration lawyers when it comes to all this, so that they're making the best decisions for those people. For example, I know a lot about, we call it cremigration. I know a lot about it. And some of the lawyers too are specializing in such. So if you find someone that is a non-citizen in trouble, then call an immigration lawyer while you're calling the criminal law attorney.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm very happy that this one came up. You know, because normally we just call a criminal attorney for them, and they tell them go and plead.
Plead guilty, and once they plead guilty, they may not become green card holders anymore, or they may not become
So
citizens.
once you plead guilty, even at the probation, whatever, immigration doesn't. Once you're guilty, you're guilty.
You're guilty.
Oh wow.
You're guilty.
Yeah, and criminal defense attorneys, they don't care about talking much about immigration, and they're not competent really, most of them, to talk about immigration law. So yes, she's totally right. You want to make sure you advise the people to also speak to an immigration lawyer on top of the criminal defense lawyer.
Wow.
So, unless, I think we're about to wrap it up. Is there any closing words would you like to say? And then we'll close up before we talk about it.
I'm very happy with the information that she gave relating to families and plannings and all the things. In fact, I didn't know all that. And I'm very happy that she's experienced somebody's pain, and through somebody's pain, she decided to help. Lots of people must hear this, especially Africans, with all the Haitians, Caribbeans, and all those, but they must all hear this, because our mentality is different because of the trust issues we have with our spouses and things like that. So I think we're going to gather together to get you out there, so that people can hear your experience and all your legal facts to help us. And I think so many people have immigration issues. I want to bring them to your table, so that we can someday have a free immigration seminar to get people to come and talk and get them set up to come to the office to help, because people use, how do you call it, DUI, or what do you call it, SUI,
Do it yourself.
DIY. Do it yourself.
Man, I'll be using it like crazy now.
A Google lawyer.
Google lawyer, that's it.
Oh, so if somebody goes to Google to go do, you call them a Google lawyer.
Yeah. Look it up on Google.
You know, the Google cannot be your lawyer.
Okay.
You know, the Google will provide you with some information, but may not be your specific need.
Wow.
You know.
Google lawyer.
I hear people say, "Hey, are you sure about that? I read something different on Google." I said, "But you didn't go to law school." So, yes, Pastor, definitely thank you very much for coming. This was a pleasure. This is your first community leader to come in and talk to us.
Yeah.
And I had to invite you because I've witnessed your work myself and very impressed. And we look forward to helping to make your people's lives easier.
Thank you.
As Jumoke like to say, providing legal status in America so they can pursue the American dream with confidence. And so I got it right, finally.
You got it right.
Yeah. So we're here to help them do that. And if it's something we cannot do, we definitely will guide them in the right direction.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. And I think we can wrap up the live version of our meeting. And Jumoke, is there anything else you'd like to say before we close up?
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you here. We thank you for all the information you provided today. And I'm impressed about the work you're doing in the community. And we're looking forward to being part of the police event coming up as well.
So on the 10th of March at 11 a.m., we'll gather all the firefighters in Virginia, all the top brass, and all the top police, the counties. Every county is there with the sheriff, the state police, and then the county, the city's police also. So it's going to be a big event. We want to gather with them and honor them and celebrate them. And then next week, Wednesday also, I've especially been invited by one of the police chiefs for a lunch, but part of the Biden administration officers will be there also to enjoy with us. And it's a privilege that I don't take for granted at all, because it is not easy to do this in America with the backdrop of all the things that are happening. So we're just going to keep doing what we do and try to bring everybody on board, especially great people like you, to also be part. We might never know. One day maybe she might be the minister of the Attorney General or something, you know. You might never know.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah, you might never know, you know. So I'm very happy. This is how you do, right?
You can learn more about us at www.ivylawoffice.com and on Facebook at Ivy Law Office. Thank you so much for listening to our broadcast today. And what's your website, sir?
Our website is we have Faithful Servants Award, which is the site for the police thing, Faithful Servants Award, and we have Divine Word International Ministry.org. We also have that one, and a couple of them I don't even.
Please check out Divine Word Ministry. Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you.
Follow Bishop Adonteng Boateng on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. He's everywhere.
And he's here.
He's here. So you can find this man everywhere. He was an